as I walk for hours through West End over to Newstead. It just sucks. I had no cash for a cab, and I would've just slept in a car park or in a space down in the train stations. But I knew that I needed to go home. I see the faces of the city, I see the dealers and the girls of the night. Quite frankly, I don't give a shit. I wonder why painkillers I can't buy. And it was written on my face, and it was spray painted on every place, that the city looks pretty when you're up in your face, and everybody has lost their faith. I see beggars, I see buggings, I see a chicken too fucking down an alley, and he didn't even pay her a decent way. I see dealers and policemen coming in to get their card on the others who just look the other way. And it was written.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Simsational TV stream running tonight. This is round 2 of the ICRC, or the Interclub Racing Championship, here live from Le Mans, the absolute pinnacle of motorsport staging in the world. For over a century, this hallowed circuit has stood as the ultimate proving ground. It's not just a race, it's an odyssey, with 24 hours minus 23 of raw endurance, precision engineering, and human willpower coming our way. It is going to be an unbelievable event. And tonight, under the stars and the sunshine and the moon and anything you want here at the French countryside, drivers from every corner of the 4 clubs tonight will chase one dream. That is to conquer time, to conquer distance, and to conquer the doubters. Behind every wheel, a story. Every pit crew, a heartbeat, and along the straight, a roar of history is waiting to be written once again. So buckle in, ladies and gentlemen, because once the lights go out tonight, it's not just about speed, it's about survival, strategy and spirit. This is not for the faint of heart. This is for the relentless. This is Le Mans, and it begins right now.
Oh, what an intro there from the smoothest voice in the pit lane is smoother than a fresh set of slicks. Don't you worry about that, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chris Munro. That was Zach O'Reilly in the pre-game show. And we've got Lindsay MasterCard Muddle there in the third seat of the hot box here tonight at Le Mans. It's as we mentioned, the Inter-Club Championships tonight. Let's have a look at where we are racing. It is Circuit de la Sarthe. It's the world-famous Le Mans circuit. 38 frickin' turns tonight, 13.5 kilometres. So plenty of time to reapply your lipstick down a couple of these big, long straights here tonight. 60 minutes will be the race, but before that will be a 25-minute qualifying session. Balls to the wall for most of that. A mandatory pit, but no mandatory tyre change in the race will be an interesting addition to strategies around the pit lane tonight. All the tyres available: super soft, soft, medium, hard, and super hard. And I tell you what, there'll be at least 2 of those in the commentary box tonight. Super hard with the action. Track temp is 16 degrees above the ambient temp, so we're looking at about 45 degrees down there on the track at the moment. And fastest during the week, Zach O'Reilly with Steve Rees. He was absolutely belting out there during the week.
Yeah, he was belting it around, and I'll tell you what, that man is something to behold in the UFO department. Don't worry about USA thinking where they're finding these unidentified flying objects. It's right here on the Interclub Racing Series. He is flying out there in front. 36 points individually, driver standings. This is for Stephen Rees. Alex McKill hot on his heels with 30, and then Dravomir Bodretsky in the GT Club representing them on 29 points, only 1 point behind for the top three. It's actually, if you count them all, it's a AK Racing dominance inside the top 10, when you've got Fargon Racing and GT Club representing Jason McFadden and Kim Weckett, but share 4th and 5th. Nick Mallow, Ryan Anderson in 6th and 7th, James Bullock, Michael Seal, and Dino Hanley round out your top 10, and the rest of them are all there to win it. Couple of no-pointers at the moment, but it's going to be interesting. And this is the full standings here, Lindsay Muddle, for the teams.
And Lindsay's gone quiet with Voskin there in the commentary box.
I'm here.
It's,
no, I just... Your share screen doesn't show it.
I'll read it out. AK Racing is leading on 90 points overall, so they are dominating at this stage. Good 18 points behind Fargon, and GT Club in third. Hot on Fargon's heels, and then Oz New Zealand Sim Racing on 46 as well. So it's going to be interesting. But once again, we'll try for the second time tonight. Lindsay Muddle in just a hot second. We got those cars on the field. However, they are Porsche RSRs 2017 models. 510 brake horsepower, only 1,245 kilos. That is something quick with 489 newton meters of torque. And they are as feisty in the rear end as a dog with a cone around its head. I'm giving you a hot tip. It is just nuts out there tonight.
Yeah, it sure is. So get yourself strapped in, ladies and gentlemen, because these guys have just finished up the driver briefing, and they will be just hitting the track very shortly for this 25-minute qualifying session. So you know the drill. Do not go anywhere. Grey Ward in the comments says, what's super hard in the commentary box? I'll leave that to your imagination.
Wine glasses.
Yeah, just our attitudes, mate. Hard as rocks in here, I tell you what. But welcome to all the viewers out there. We've got a fair few joining in for the start of the stream, which is great to see. We've got Tom Marzi in there as well. Schnooksy, we've got Cowie Motorsport, Ron Marshall. As always, the world is a greater place with him in the chat. Liam Hanley, we've got all the boys in supporting their respective clubs. But it's about time we go qualifying, ladies and gents. So strap in to your chairs for the next at least half an hour, because it's going to be qualifying mayhem coming up in just a moment.
And I said, you can take your vodka cruiser and fuck right off. Once the golden nectar of the Commonwealth, I wouldn't trade a custom-made 4X for anything else. This beer is gold, but truth be told, I'd rather hold a 4X gold. So pick a mango, twist the wrist, crack it open, let's get pissed. Milk mango, milk mango, milk mango, ice cold. Milk mango, milk mango, milk mango, 4X gold. 4X gold is a nice refreshing 4X gold. I said the best thing. 4X gold is a nice refreshing 4X gold. I said the best thing. 4X gold is a nice refreshing 4X gold. I said the best thing. 4X gold is a nice refreshing 4X gold. Milk mango, milk mango, milk mango, ice cold. Milk mango, milk mango, milk mango, 4X gold. Milk mango, milk mango, milk mango, ice cold. Milk mango, milk mango, milk mango, 4X gold.
Well, the qualifying may have nearly kicked off here, but I'll tell you what, who hasn't kicked off is debutant in the commentary box with the over 100 club in the donations department on Sensational TV. Is one man, the myth, MasterCard expert himself, Lindsay Muddle, It's good to have you here tonight, mate, and welcome to the broadcast. Are we getting excited or what?
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait to see all this action underway, and it's great to be here with you, Zach O'Reilly, and Christopher Munro in the commentary box again here for round number 2 at Le Mans. And I'll tell you what, it looks like we have a couple of cars out on the track already, but never mind. I don't know if that's qualifying because it says free practice. Yep,
yeah,
there
they're
we go.
just getting warmed up for the inevitable charge of the Light Brigade, so we can talk a little bit more about the teams that are coming up. Actually, that's what we will do here, and Lindsay won't have access to this on his screen, but he'll get plenty of time to talk once we get around. This is Team GT Club, ladies and gentlemen. This is Drav Madretsky there in the 03. We've got Ryan Ford, Eric J, Georgie Gardner, Kim Weckett, Matt Double, Mitchell McPherson, and Craig Stone representing GT Club.
Yeah, OK Racing with a couple of fill-ins tonight. One is Andre Elliott in the number 22. Beside him, Matt Munro, unfortunately out sick tonight, so he won't be racing on screen. Dean Hanley is in the number 55 with Matthias Falzon in 36. Alex McEwen and Nick Mallow in 43 and 04 respectively. Jason McFadden flies the pink 35 machine, and Nathan Hughes in the green 85.
And for Fargon Racing, the fastest man in the Southern Hemisphere, it seems, at the moment, Steve Rees in the number 6. Davey Austin supporting him in the 47. James Bullock, the, what do we call him? Sandra's love child there in the 45. Michael Seal, Kiss from a Rose in the 11. With Andrew Longy. Big long man's there as well. And another new man to the server, Maris Linus. He's pretty quick too, ladies and gents. Tom Marzell is there in the 78, and
Cheers,
Jeff
man.
Drew is there in the number 3.
And Oz New Zealand round out the final of the teams tonight. Mark Knowles and Brent Matthews, 84 and number 48 respectively. Peter Van Wingard there in the 723 Mobile. Chris O'Neill in the old bass drum, 808. Sitting there as well. Gordon Anderson, number 64. Darryl Daly, number 63. They're probably in bed together somewhat in a setup department. Ryan Anderson is the number 98 and 65 in Brian Bullock. That would be Sandra's uncle sitting there in number 65. But we are out at the moment for qualifying as they're getting set up to go. You can see the red flag there on your screen, but don't worry about that. That is just real penalty doing real penalty things. And these boys are qualifying, Lindsay Muddle.
Yeah, they are. So now everybody is circulating around the track, and... No, they're not. There we go. Okay.
We've had it looks like a server reset, ladies and gentlemen, at the death. So I guess entertain yourselves again for just a moment whilst this, they must just be having a few server issues on the back end. It happens from time to time, ladies and gentlemen. That's what sim racing's all about. If you've been around the traps for long enough, you know that there's more dropouts than your local public high school. Yeah, I was about to say. So sit tight because we're going to be back once this server reboots, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere.
My head spinning, my bar too pissed. His red freaks suburban on the rocks of the twist.
There we go. Sorry, ladies. We've got a very, very long outlap as well. So Ryan Anderson, should I say, is taking us around the first time of this very long lap, ladies and gents. It's about 4 minutes worth, or just under if you're an alien of one of these four sim racing leagues around the traps. So we're going to see what Oz New Zealand can do. They're going to be the first ones out around the circuit.
Yeah, the Matrix himself in terms of Mr. Anderson. He's just definitely going for it tonight, and that's good to see. He's got to get himself up there in the standings. And speaking of getting up there, we have got another partner of one of the races out there in mozzarella cheese. But no, I'm not saying mozzarella, I'm saying marzella. Louise, welcome to Simsational TV. Hopefully you're tuning in and enjoying this and watching. I wonder if it's the partner or if it's your son or whatever it is who is going out there. And Thomas, he'll do well tonight. So good to have you as well, along with everyone. And this is a long lap, as Chris said. It is a sub 4 minute in the qualifying terms. But once you get into those race tyres, maybe the hard or the medium, it's going to be on like Donkey Kong. There is a 60-minute race coming up after this long qualifying session. And there is that mandatory pit and no mandatory compound change. So we could see some different strategies in the race. But qualifying right now, it's interesting to look at that timing tower there, Lindsay Muddle. It looks like we've got a mixture of soft, medium and hards there.
Yeah, I know that it's definitely going to be an interesting one here tonight with the qualifying tyre. It's definitely going to be a little bit conflicting between some of the drivers. I was talking to a few of the drivers last night, and some of them were thinking that the super softs weren't going to be viable come qualifying time, but we're seeing a few of them sneak out here and a few of the mediums, and I think most of it is about tyre temperature when it comes to pushing the car as hard as you can around the lap.
Yeah, that's true. We've seen in the Discord during the week, the Super Soft is basically unusable as by the time you get a quarter of the way around the lap, they are absolutely cooked. So they're all going mostly on the soft here at the moment, a few on the medium as well, but we'll see how far that gets them around this circuit. But someone's just overtaken for the lead on the outlap. Steve Rees being a bit cheeky there, just getting a little overtake in before the start-finish line.
Yeah, well, he needs that clear track in front of him. He's not going to wait around for other people in front, so he's going to go out there and set the barometer. A 3 minute 53.6 was his time in the practice server, qualifying himself during the last 2 weeks, mind you, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll tell you what, this man is on a mission as well. Can anyone catch him tonight? He dominated bar the last stint in the first round there in the Radicals. It was great to see Alex McEwen get up there and give him some old Tijuana there for a little bit, but it was all over by the shouting after a couple of laps there. But it is now time, beautifully segued into this moment, because Lindsay Muddle's favourite person in the sim world is on screen, and he's about to start his first flying lap. And Lindsay Muddle, you can take it away here for the man himself, Stephen Rees, on the lap of Circuit de la Sarthe.
Yeah, well, here we go for a very long flying lap here around Le Mans. So here we go. Steve-O crosses the line to begin qualifying proceedings, heading into the Dunlop curb. So this is really critical. You've got to use all the track on the outside, and there he does. Cut it across and then hard on the anchors, but there's no ABS in this RSR as he makes his way through the left. Use the curb on the right. He doesn't elect to use too much yet as he now makes his way down the hill. So the track dives away from you. Then you've got to hold to the right as you now head into a very quick left-right with a lot of camber to carry you through the corner. And then now you make your way towards Tetra Rouge. Full commitment here, but really tricky with the track limits. Most of this circuit is really hard with the track limits, but Steve-O absolutely nails it there, but a bit of a slide. So that might have cost him a bit of time, but the entry was absolutely perfect. And now you make your way down one of two very, very long straights at this circuit, heading towards the Daytona chicane. So hold yourself to the left-hand side of the track and then just get ready to spot your braking point heading into a very medium speed chicane with a lot of curb usage required. So there you go, the boards pop up on the left-hand side and then smack the brakes as hard as you can, get the car pulled up without locking up, and then get over the left-hand side curb, hook it around. It's a little bit slidey there. Steve-O cannot keep this car in a straight line very well at the moment. The car wanting to slide around a lot, but that is the nature of the 911 RSR as he makes his way now towards the Michelin chicane. So as we go now on board inside the 911. He's just prepping for the next braking zone. It's pretty much the exact same chicane, but in reverse. So it's left to right instead of right to left, as we're adding to the counter as we go through this qualifying lap, as down to second gear and then making his way through the exit. That was a little bit slidey there, so the car just really wrestling him as he makes his way now down what is another long straight, but not quite as long as the last two, heading towards Virage de Mulsanne, which is a hairpin, very tricky braking zone. You've got to get the car straight, which you'll see in a moment's time. So he heads over the crest. Now that's where the braking boards pop up, and then pointing the car to the right, it's point and shoot, and you can go all the way outside the white line there. It's one of the only places on the circuit where the track limits aren't decided by the white line. You can go all the way out and use all the track on the entry, which he absolutely does, and the time gain from that would be absolutely incredible as he makes his way towards the Curb de Golf, and then it'll be towards Indianapolis, one of the hardest corners on the circuit in my opinion, especially with a car with no ABS. I'll tell you what, my first time here at Le Mans was in this RSR when I drove it on the sim, and I locked up and went straight on at this corner, so let's see how he tackles it. I don't imagine he'll be as bad as I am. He's an absolute alien as he gets it down into second gear through the left, and then now heading to Arnage. So a very slow speed right-hander, so you've got to get the car checked up. Second gear there, a little bit of a lock-up with the smoke popping up on the right-hand side of the screen, and now heading through up the gears towards the Porsche curves. This is the most fun part of the circuit in a high downforce car. I would imagine in this thing, it's more like the most scary part of the circuit, but we'll see how he manages to take it as he heads up the hill now and into the Porsche curve. So this is full commitment here. Is all the track on the outside, fifth gear, get it across. You got to open up the next part, which he fails to do. It looked a little bit of a compromised line there for Steve-O as he now heads his way through the next left, and then it is very tight to the right. The corner tightens as you go. You got to get it back across. A little dab of the brakes there. No, he just lifts off and uses all the curb on the exit through that second left, and then now heading into the chicanes, heading towards the Ford chicane. Full commitment here. You've got to use all the curb available to you. Hit the brakes as quick as you can, trail off, clobber the curb, and then, oh, that's a big moment there from Steve-O. Use all the curb through the final chicane, and that is a lap of Circuit de la Sarthe with Steve-O. What's the lap time going to be to kick off the session? A 54.278.
I'll tell you what, there was some Swan Lake about that, just dancing the car everywhere with a bit of ice skating too. That was a beautiful lap, but he is still the quickest man on track, is Stephen Rees, by a good 2.4 seconds by Mr. Operating System, not Windows, in second place in Linus. Peter Van Wingard has come through in 3 minutes 57.6, so 2.5 second versus a second gap between first and second, but the old operating system's on the medium, so he's running in Linux 3.0, I reckon, at the moment, but still managing to put himself up into P2. What a cracking lap and drive that was from Steve-O. Sandra's Lovechild's up in there in terms of senior. McPherson's come through. The strut is back and strutting his stuff inside the top 5.
Yeah, look at that livery as well. Speaking of strutting their stuff, GT Club have come out tonight to impress in the old leopard skin, or whatever that is, zebra skin liveries there. You cannot miss these guys. And McPherson hasn't missed there. He's on the second row provisionally so far. And with such a long lap out there as well for qualifying, it's about 4 minutes. They're only going to get maybe, 5, 6 at the very best hot laps out there. And there he goes, McPherson just banging it into the fence. And that will be a big mistake, really, because Drav just pops himself up onto the front row as well. If you make a mistake around here on either an outlap or any lap for that matter, you go back and you could lose potentially 4 minutes of your qualifying session.
Yeah, we definitely will. Jason McFadden's gone bang, though. The fast number 35 stepping in for yours truly is doing me proud in third place at the moment. 356.4 on a set of mediums. That's not too shabby as well. Dravelmere in second place. Madretsky, to be correct, has put a 55.9 on mediums too. So pretty close there between them all, and Linus as well. So we've got to look out for a lot of drivers tonight. This guy's one of them. He'll put in the laps. He'll dedicate himself to anything. The ultimate co-driver. I'm going to call him... I've completely forgotten his name right now from V8 Supercars. That's not good commentary, but he is the super sub, that is for sure, and doing them proud at the moment. He drives for Wheels Magazine as well, and Porsche Carrera Cup. Oh my goodness gracious me, it starts with W. No. He sounds like he might be on the other side of straight, but he's definitely not when he speaks. Oh, I can't remember. Warren Luff. He's the Warren Luff
We got there.
of the AK Racing team. But doing a good job, and he's got a bit of a suck happening on here to one of his teammates behind him. I can't see who that is, and that is perfectly bad knowledge for me in the commentary box.
Mello.
I think that is Nicholas Mello. In fact, it is the number 04. So giving each other a bit of a tow here. This is what the racing's about too, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to the session after this one, they have got to be giving each other as much suckage as they possibly can. The French girls here will be wondering why the snails taste so bad and why this one looks so good, because he's sucking right now is Nick Mello at the back of Jason McFadden. That'll give him about an extra 4 or 5 tenths by the end of these two Mulsanne straight sections, Lindsay Muddle.
Yeah, look at that. Sorry, Lindsay, I cut you off there, but that's some great teamwork there by the two AK drivers. You see Falzon, or whoever it was, just getting out of the way. Sorry, it was... There's this great commentary tonight. It was McFadden just jumping out of the way there from Nick Mello, so giving him the suck up the straight. I wonder if any other teams are utilising the old double play up and around, playing a bit of leapfrog, Lindsay.
Yeah, well, I can just imagine what Fargorn could get up to while giving Steve-O a slipstream, and you could imagine all the teams could benefit greatly, but it's also about you've got to be at the right place at the right time to be able to pull it off, and you don't want to be sacrificing your own qualifying just to give each other a slipstream. So it's going to be about having the right timing on when you go out and whatnot to make sure you can give each other the slipstream. But if you get it right, it's going to be advantageous for absolutely everybody involved in the slipstream in your team. So that is something definitely to consider here around Le Mans. But a lot of drivers pumping in the quick lap times at the moment, but still English. Great commentary, everybody, here in the commentary box tonight. Steve-O's still clear of the rest at the moment. Madretsky sitting in second as Matt double crossed the line. P19, never mind. What am I looking at?
My goodness gracious me, it's all happening. I'm going to give the leopard print that we saw, the zebra, the cheetah, whatever. I'm going to call it the Austin Powers porno liveries, because they look like they're straight from the 70s rumpus room there with the shagadelic nature of them, and they look bloody fantastic. But so do these cars on the screen as well. Fargon Racing, the checkered triangular, whatever you want to call it. Definitely a very, very standout looking livery and different colours between them too. The AK Racing ones look good. Every car looks bloody good, to be honest.
Look on the roof.
Look at that sensational TV and check the roof out as well. It looks absolutely cool, because there we are, right there as well for Fargon Racing, and it's appreciative that we are part of it, and we do not forget how privileged we are.
It's good to feel loved out there on the stream. So thank you to all the leagues involved that got our symbol on the cars. So it's good to see. Looking at the timing tower, no one is really setting the world alight in terms of sectors. Let's have a look at Gordon Anderson. He's on 2 greens at the moment, so on for a bit of an improvement, but that's probably fair enough because his best time now is a 4:10. So you'd expect him to maybe bump up in and around the 4-minute mark. Has a big lock up there, though, the number 64. I don't know if that's going to help him as he hits through the final couple of turns. There's a GT Club car right up his ass. Let's see what happens when he crosses the line. He does not improve, but Georgie Gardner does. He goes up into 12th, so maybe a little bit more in the tank for him, Lindsay, as he, just got a little bit held up there in the final sector.
Yeah, you'd think with such a long lap around this circuit that there shouldn't be any traffic problems, but when everybody dives out of the pit lane at the same time, it still tends to happen. But also, in the meantime, while we were watching those two have a little bit of a mini race in their qualifying sessions, Nick Mello was the first driver to get inside 1 second of Steve Reese, so he's absolutely flying out there.
Yeah, he definitely is. He's on for an absolute rip snorter tonight. He said that he didn't like these cars too much from what I've heard, but when it comes to racing, it doesn't matter, because this guy will give you a very, very good deal at the best of times, and hitting some form here in qualifying. Is that man, just as I say that, commentator cursed him. There's a counter for sure, because he's more crossed up there than a horse trying to ice skate, and it's been ridiculous. He can't get that thing, but he's gone back into the pits. Don't you worry about that, ladies and gentlemen. He'll go out for another crack. What can anyone do about Stephen Rees? Where is Alex McEwen on the screen? I cannot see him there on the timing tower, let alone at this stage to be anywhere inside. He was the second quickest guy on the track to do so for AK Racing, and he's sitting down there in 30th at the moment. So a bit of work to be done, but this man, still setting the time terror alight. The track conditions, Christopher Munro, must not be a little bit of an identical thing to the practice session.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit more rubber out there this time as Steve Rees, as you can see on your screen, ladies and gents, goes purple 1 and 2 sectors here. He is up by almost 8/10 currently, but he's just given a little bit back through that section, just teetering on about half a second up on his time. So he's looking at breaking into the 53s as he gets right out sideways through that little section there. Certainly driving the wheels off it. Let's go on board here and just see some wheel work. How do I get in the cockpit? That's what we want to see. Here we go. That's the one. It's going through the final couple of turns here. He's still up, ladies and gentlemen, by about 7/10. This is going to be an improvement here into the 53s. Goes bang. 53.686. I don't think anyone is going to be able to beat that tonight, Lindsay. That is one of the quickest times we've seen, if not the quickest during all week in practice.
Yeah, and nobody's even close at the moment. Nick Mello in the 55s in the next quickest car, and he's absolutely flying. But Steve Rees, absolutely untouchable at the moment. And I know we already looked at the Fargorn livery, but I'll tell you what, it is my favourite livery of the night if I had to give one of the leagues the favourite livery of the night from me. But a couple of drivers now coming out of the pit lane, 8.5 minutes to go. I wonder if, I've seen Steve-O do it a few times, I wonder if he's going to call that a day, if that's as fast as he can think. I think, bloody hell, we're having a nightmare.
As fast as he can go. Probably is. I reckon he's just kicked the feet up and gone to puff on a bit of a dart or whatever he does, indulge himself before he jumps in for a 60-minute dash out there around Le Mans.
We need to have a chat curse as well, because Ron Marshall has just gone in and... no, it was Gray Ward, actually. Sorry, not you, Ron. Gray Ward at the start of the stream had said to Lindsay Muddle, can you speak English tonight? And he's absolutely cursed the big man at this stage. But enough banter in the commentary box, because the action is out on track. And I'm telling you now, it's on for these last 7.5 minutes odd, because this is the times where the rest of the grid may be first. I'm not saying it's impossible, but maybe first could be decided. But the rest of the grid definitely needs to get a trot on there at the moment. A good 1.6 seconds away from the lead at the moment is anyone. That's Nick Mello right at this point in time. We've got Longy in third. There hasn't been able to improve. He's still in the mediums. Falzon has just bumped himself into the 56.8s on a set of softs, back into 8th place as well for him. So he's crossed the line. And if you've noticed down the bottom, ladies and gentlemen, that track map on your right-hand side bottom is moving at a snail's pace. These cars are getting up to 300 odd down the Mulsanne Straight, and on that track map, because of the scale of this 14-kilometre odd circuit, my goodness gracious me, that is why they look so slow going around. But I'm telling you, they are flying. And just to get back to a point before I hand it over, the way that Stephen Rees took those last 3 chicanes there was literally like dancing, Lindsay Muddle, on the point of adhesion of those tyres every single time he flicked that Porsche in. It was just something beautiful to watch.
Yeah, it was like Michael Flatley out there in Riverdance. But this guy's flying as well. Madredsky on for at least a 9/10 improvement here on his best time. He's just slung it right out wide in the final turn. He crosses the line. It's going to be an improvement. Bang! Goes onto the front row with a 55.1. Still can't break into the 54s at any of these guys. And meanwhile, Steve Rees just smoking his pipe there in the mid-53s. Can anyone, I think just at the start of this race, it's going to have to be someone to just poke it up the inside and give a bit of curry to Mr. Reese out there, and maybe get him to, I guess, double guess himself. But it's going to be very hard on a wide open circuit like this with plenty of room to overtake.
Yeah, definitely. It should be good. But I think here at the moment, it looks like it could be all over by the shouting for first. Who's going to take from second all the way down to the top 10? That's where we want to focus. McEwen's gone bang into the top 10 from 30th, so he's up there on a set of mediums. The OK Racing boys are inside the top 10. There's 4 of them. There is 3 Fargone Racing guys in there, and 2 GT clubs, and one Oz New Zealand Racing in there in Knowlesy, in Beyonce's second cousin, for sure, in 8th place, doing a great job there representing. So it's going to be interesting, but this man on your screen is in 3rd place, not setting the first sector alight at the moment, but he will have time to go around for one more dance at this massive, massive circuit and a massive challenge, hoping that he can pip Badretsky, who is only 7 thousandths in front of him.
Yeah, he's on for an improvement here as well. Nick Mello, just looking at the live timing, he's teetering on about 4/10, but that little snap there is certainly not going to help him at all. As we see that deficit come down, he's now into just teetering on the edge of an improvement. He only needs to, mind you, what's that? 15 hundredths of a second or 15 thousandths. I think it's thousands. Yeah, so very close there. Only a slight improvement needed. Maybe one of the AK boys can get out there and give him a little bit of a tow, but that might be impossible now because it's 4 minutes and 26 seconds to go. He will not get around for well, he will. This will be his second last lap, so he will get one more bite of the proverbial cherry here at Circuit de la Sarthe. Let's look down the bottom here. Brian Bullock's on for an improvement. Let's see where he is. No, he's not. He's in the pits. That's great broadcasting here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for tuning in. If you haven't already, hit the like and subscribe button to get more of Lindsay saying me saying and Zach just killing us here in the commentary game.
That's you, Lindsay.
Yeah, and bloody hell, I can't even get my words out.
Yeah, we got
McPherson heading around the circuit. There we go. I got the words out eventually. Having a nightmare here in the commentary box tonight. Maybe the racing will make it better, but McPherson heading up towards the line now and starting his final flying lap here at Circuit de la Sarthe. As I said earlier, well, as I tried to say earlier, Steve-O sitting in the pit lane thinking that's the fastest he can go. Madretsky as well, currently out on the track. Nick Mello sits in P3. Longy, or Long as you'll see him on the leaderboard, he is sitting in 4th. He's really impressing me at the moment for Fargon Racing, and it looks like it's all really going to come to a head here at the end of this qualifying session. A lot of close gaps around this field.
Yeah, definitely, and it's going to be interesting because Matt Double at the moment is about 4 to 5 tenths up on average on his personal best. That at the moment should jump him nearly. It probably would jump him up into 4th best case scenario if he gets that 7 tenths out of the way, but he's on for a fly here. Look at that Austin Powers Shagadelic, baby. In terms of that livery, that looks fantastic. But you can't miss him during the race tonight, so watch out for him as we get into the final moments of qualifying. 2 minutes 30 on the clock, and it's counting down to those final moments. Look at that purple micro sector in Sector 2 here for Matt Double. He's really got those tyres fired up at the moment on the soft compound, so if he goes too early, he'll start dying off at the end of the lap, but no sign of doing that at the moment. Look at him braking now. Very, very heavily into the tight right-hander onto the back straight here at Circuit de la Sarthe. Another full pedal to the metal acceleration zone. You get on it very, very quickly. It's green and it's a micro purple here for Matt Double. So he is on at the moment. At the timing tower is saying between 7 to 9 tenths on average is this man up at this stage. We've got Nick Mallow doing 2 or 3 tenths over his best as well at the moment. Then we've got Falzon within that 2 to 3 tenth gap. So a couple of times to be had here at the moment. Can this man on the screen, though, Matt Double, do anything about his position in 6th? If he gets it all right here, Christopher Munro, he'll be on for a P4.
Yeah, he will. And those with a keen eye would have seen that he actually has the purplest sector in number 3, so it is his most strong part of the circuit. This is the section now. He came in there. He is the only one that's stolen a purple sector off Mr. Reese, so expect him to go well here. He's on 4. Where is he now on the timing tower? He's actually over a second up on his delta, so that will put him at least up onto the second row. Now it's all about just feathering through this little, I guess it's a roller coaster section here, left, right, and it's all a matter of balancing between the left and right pedal, the left and right feet, getting all the things going on. We've just, commentator cursed him a big slide, manages to hold on to it, but that is his lap done for. He will not be improving there at all, but this guy is, at the moment, Linus, he's actually just pulled it into the pits as well, so no improvement for him either. Let's have a look at Matty Falzon down here in 9th position. He is going okay, but it's at the closing death here at the moment. There is no way to see who is going to win this, who's going to win this race, but in the qualifying stakes, Vlad is going pretty good.
Yeah, it definitely is. That was a fantastic save from Matt Double, mind you. That was full Tokyo Drift-esque. Actually, let's just go back to those driving hands there, Christopher Munro, in the director's box. Because at the moment, if you have arthritis on your wrist, go back one more to see what that driver's angle of those wrists are, because they are absolutely diabolical. Go back one more. Oh my goodness, there we go. Have a look at that, ladies and gentlemen. If there was ever a need to get on the pain away, this is going to be where you need to sponsor it here at Circuit de la Sala These cars. Those wrists are as bent as Freddie Mercury was there, Lindsay Muddle, but it is qualifying over and done with. Stephen Rees, your favourite, is still on top. Can anyone pip him?
Yeah, well, Madretsky's giving it a good go at the moment, currently sitting in second and making his way towards the hairpin. So he's got to absolutely nail this one, take it all the way out. No, this could be a part where he loses a little bit of time to Steve-O. He's not going all four out to the outside there to open up that hairpin more. So just a little bit of a difference in line choice there between Rees and Madretsky, and it really shows on the timing tower where this sort of time can come from. Steve-O with a 53.6, Madretsky still in the 55s. Can he crack into the 54s? He'll be one of only two drivers to be inside or past the 54s if he can make his way into the 54s. And he's got a few green mini sectors, and he was up in the first sector. And as he's heading into Indianapolis, it looks like he's been absolutely flying around this lap, and its mini sectors are light going green at the moment as he's making his way towards the end of this second sector. So it's just going to be all about maintaining his pace into the third sector. So here we go, making his way up towards what will be the Porsche curves, if memory serves correctly now, before he makes his way up towards the line. Yes, it will be. My memory is working, unlike my English skills. And he is making his way towards the Porsche curve. So this is where the lap can be made or broken, as we saw just a few moments ago with Matt Double. So here we go. It's commitment time here for Madretsky. Can he make it work here? Can he keep the car stuck to the ground? It looks like it so far. This is where it went wrong for Matt Double through this next left-hander. So into the Corvette curve. It's just going to be about keeping it planted, and he does keep it planted. So now making his way towards the Ford chicane. It's going to be full commitment here to the end of the lap. He needs to find 0.2 of a second to be inside the 3-minute 54s. Can he do it? He's been green pretty much the entire lap. Now he's just got one chicane to go over the top of the curbs and up towards the line. Will it be in the 54s for Madretsky? It's P2 no matter what, but it is going to be a 54.2. That's a big time gain there in the third sector, purple in fact.
Yeah, great lap there from Dravilmir Madretsky, but not quite good enough to beat this man who is possibly just ducked off down to the shops to fill up on KFC or whatever he needs to do before the race. We saw him last out about 15 minutes ago. He set that 53.6 and he said, you know what, nobody's beaten that. I'm going to chuff off down to the shops and come back and start it off pole position. So that is exactly what he has done.
Yeah, he's done well. He's done super well, this man on screen. Steve Rees takes that pole position once again, the second blood in round 2, and took the first blood in round 1. Can he do it in the racing, ladies and gentlemen? That is the big question, because that time there from Madretsky will give him something to think about in the grand scheme of racing things. Are we going to see a multiple pit strategy from any of these drivers? We've got 32 of them out on track, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing to shy about here at Circuit de la Sarthe. Or is a one-stopper going to be the penultimate strategy scenario for tonight? We will find out very shortly. But let's have a quick look at those timings once again. As we go further out, we'll see officially what's happened. Steve Rees is on pole. Madretsky second place. Nick Mallow in third there with a 55.2, and not long behind him, speaking of puns, is Andrew himself in fourth place with the old operating system taking out top 5. Matt Double, sixth place. Jason McFadden representing AK Racing there in seventh place. Mark Knowles in eighth for Fargon. Matthias Falzon for AK and Alex McEwen. Oh, sorry, not Fargon. Jeez Louise. Oz New Zealand. DJ Club, in fact. And Alex McEwen rounds out your top 10 there, Chris.
We almost got there. I think it's Oz New Zealand there for Mark Knowles. But Wingard as well in the 7.23 bumps it in at 11th position. James Bullock, Mitchell McPherson, Michael Seal, kissed from a rose there in 14th. Andre Elliott in 15th. A late sub-in, I believe, for Willie Kirk, the captain of the OK Racing team. Not racing tonight. Brian Bullock in 16th. Eric J in 17th. Ryan Anderson with Ryan Ford. The Ryans together there in 18th and 19th. Chris O'Neill in 20th. Georgie Gardner in 21st. Nathan Hughes, Brent Matthews make out 22nd, 23rd. We've got Dave Austin, Tom Marzella there as well. Darryl Daly, Dean Hanley, Jeff Drew Craig Stone, Matt Double has already left the server and the Sensational TV car. A little of Bath, actually. Let's have a look at that. Where is he? Mr. Andrew Ferguson's in the house watching. He will like to look at that. I'm pretty sure he used to have one of these little cars parked in the driveway.
Yeah, he did, and it wasn't his car, it was the Misso's car, in fact.
So he says.
That's what he said. I don't know how he would fit in that one, Andrew Ferguson, but he managed to squeeze in a couple of times there. But that is qualifying done, one and run, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful stuff there. Huge event coming up. 24 hours minus 23 equals 1 hour of racing here at Circuit de la Sarthe, and it's going to be an absolute belter. As that sign says, Le Esprit de Competition, and it's going to be a beautiful one tonight. Sit back, relax, enjoy it. Go and refill your beverages for this hour. Strap yourselves in. Once you get back, fire up the Canara. Get the heater on if you're in Queensland, because these boys up here are absolutely piss weak, I'm telling you. If it was 10 degrees in Victoria, I'd still be sitting here in shirt and tee and shorts, that's for sure. But we'll be back here for the racing for tonight. Round 2 of Oz New Zealand Far Gone Racing, AK Racing, and GD Club's Inter-Club Racing Championship.
I want to be the only one, the only man here with the gun. Sweet victory, things I've won out on display for everyone. It's just a fantasy I have to help me sleep at night. I play it on repeat, hope everything will be alright. I always put my hand overdrive. I got some shit that keeps me up at night. I'm just burning out, I'll be alright. I always put my head in overdrive. I used to dream I was the one, like a second-hand Napoleon. My victories, things I won, slip through my hands and come undone. I always put my head in overdrive. I got some shit that keeps me up at night. I'm just burning out, I'll be alright. I always put my head in overdrive. I just want something good to say if I speak at all. None of the things I had before. Yeah, I burn through my peace of mind. Every now and then I lose a fight. I'm just burning out, I'll be alright. I always put my head in overdrive. I got some shit that keeps me up at night. I'm just burning out, I'll be alright. Put my head in overdrive.
ladies and gentlemen. V8 Super Geek in the chat says, you've got my heart rate up. Appreciate it. There's plenty of things up. And I tell you what, look at that grid, folks. That spells turn one danger. I don't know about you guys at home, but who the hell set up the grid like that? That is crazy stuff.
That is full roll racing formation style there, and I'll tell you what, that is mental. That looks about as scary as Kim Jong-un and Donald Trump on the old atomic bomb button at the same time, because that could spell 100% nuclear warship sort of stuff. But have a look at the colours out there, ladies and gentlemen. Every single colour out there: pink, green, blue, orange, black, yellow, red, magenta, green, pink, you name it. It's all there, and speaking of colours at the moment, Lindsay Muddle, this could be a very, very colourful start to this race up in 3 minutes' time.
Yeah, I mean, did we not learn our lesson from when we had the Slovakia ring last time? There was a big pile-up on lap 1. What do you think this is going to cause?
Yeah.
You can definitely tell Steve-O was backing himself to start on pole because the front two start just a bit ahead of the rest of the carnage.
Yeah, well, with it's a right, left, and then a big long straight. So if they can all get through the first right, left, they should be right, because they can fan out down the straight. But the confidence isn't high after the first round. That was one of the biggest pile-ups I've seen in sim racing.
Dead set. I'll tell you what, I had to look away from the screen and just smell the burning rubber and hear the metal crashing and the plastic snapping. That was disaster. But I hope these boys know what to do tonight, because it's not about lap 1, turn 1. It is legitimately about the whole race. There is going to be suck battles down the Mulsanne straights, the two of them, in fact. And there's going to be teamwork aplenty going on. Different strategies coming each person's way. As one team opted for a one-stopper, as the other opted for a two-stopper. We just don't know how that's going to work tonight. And I'm telling you what, when this grid starts to get themselves underway, it's only going to be one person coming out on top of it and probably 15 others all caught up in the nonsense. And mind you, there is a safety car period which can be called within the first lap or two, I'm pretty sure, if one of the team captains out on the race calls it, and then they will form up like that for 80 Ks behind each other to have another shot here, Lindsay Muddle. But tell you what, car isn't racing. It's this one here tonight, but boy, oh boy, does that thing want to get out there on track.
Yeah, and I think that it's inside the first... Yeah, you said inside the first 4 laps, but 4 laps here is quite a long time, so they'll have quite a grace period when it comes to the safety car being able to be deployed, and it's if 4 or more cars are involved in a pile-up, somebody is allowed to call it, I believe, is the ruling behind that one, just from what I saw in the Fargorn Discord yesterday. So it should be... hopefully not too disastrous when there is inevitably a big pile-up from these cars starting 4 wide off the grid. And it should be all happy days, hopefully.
Well, these are touted as the best drivers of each league. So we've got the top 8. That's the format, ladies and gentlemen, at home. Your top 8 drivers of each one of these leagues out here battling it out for supremacy. But we're about to go racing, and we can find out who has the biggest balls of the lot and who can pretty much avoid the carnage, because just how close are they lined up on the grid? They're going to be like that going through the Dunlop curve. And I'll tell you what, we've got the lights up and we are ready to find out all these answers in about an hour's time. Who will reign supreme? Will it be Steve Rees? Will it be Dragomir Mudretsky? I've talked to him again. But we are ready for racing, and they are away in the Inter-Club Racing Series. And look at the start from Dragomir. He's absolutely eclipsed Steve Rees on the way down into turn 1, and there are all backing up behind him as well. That's Andrew Long getting just sort of hung out to dry in the middle there, and he will just avoid. Look at this. They all come through side by side, 3 wide. There's a bit of smoke happening down the back there from one of the Oz New Zealand cars, but everyone gets through absolutely beautifully. Look at them all come across the top of the hill underneath the Dunlop Bridge for the first time of many. They're going 3 wide as well down the bottom, but they are doing a fantastic job. And here's a man on the move. Alex McEwen's made up 3 positions already off the start. Flying stuff from him. Let's see what Steve Rees can do up the front. He's got Mudretsky in front. front of him. That's Matt Double behind, who's made up a number of positions off the start as well. He's cracking there in the slipstream of Steve Reese. Now they head down the straight for the first time, and let's see how strong the suck is here. Zach O'Reilly at Circuit de la Sarre.
I'm telling you, it's going to be so strong. You can already see at the front there, Reese is already within 1/10 and Matt Double behind him. So GD Club, far gone, and GD Club 1, 2 and 3 there. Double's trying to go for the move on Steve. There's a lock up there from Drav in front, so he made an error. That's going to hurt him on the second part of this exit, and you can see Reese right up his clacker already. Madretsky's on the hard though, so he is a bit of a pace disadvantage here. Didn't hurt him off the start, but boy oh boy, look at that suck now. Steve-O's thinking about if he should go for the move or not, because there's another suckage coming his way soon, but he's going to go for it. Down the outside he goes, because this is a left to right chicane coming up, the opposite of the first one, and Madretsky's still going to take that position at the moment, unless there is supreme braking advantage there. No, Drav's been too shy about it. He's locked up a brake again. He's not going to be too happy about that. Those hard tyres will be very, very rotationally disadvantaged by the time he does that. Look at the operating system at the moment. Coming through here in 5th place. He's right behind Longy there too, but Reese versus Madretsky is on once again down the second part of this Mulsanne straight. Looking very racy is Steve-O. He's going to look for a move up the inside here. There's no doubt about it. He's going to have a good old tussle around the outside. Gets the pace advantage into the hard braking zone. Drav's going to fight it tooth and nail here. And around the outside on the far gone racing line is Stephen Reese. A touch as well, and Drav's just punted him on the side there as well. Bit of hip and shoulder stuff. And look at Matt Double. He can see this happening. Drav has still maintained the race lead. He's got a beautiful run here as Double on to Stephen Reese's arse end. Looking for the suck down this third straight. I don't know what it's called, but my goodness gracious me, this is racing here. A fast right-hander coming up. Lindsay Muddle, who's going to be P1 by the end of this lap?
Yeah, well, it looks like Madretsky has it under lock and key at the moment. If he can lead through Indianapolis, this is a critical corner on this first lap. Steve-O showing the nose the long way around. That gives him the inside for the entry to Indianapolis. What a move this would be if he can get it done, and he does get it done. Really brave, but now into Arnage. Madretsky once again gives himself the inside line through the hairpin. It's all going to be about the exit towards the Porsche curve now, and they're dragging away once again. Here comes Matt Double, though, in the slipstream of his teammate as they make their way up the hill towards the Porsche curves. Madretsky has absolutely sensational straight line speed, though, compared to Stephen Reese as they head towards the third sector into the tricky S's. Here we go. He's showing those, and he's down the inside of Stephen Reese. Steve-O forced to stay on the outside. That'll give him the inside for the next part of the S's, though, and there's a wall to meet on the outside, so Madretsky will have to back out of it. But these three not giving each other an inch at the moment as they continue to battle away here on the first lap. It is absolutely hammer and tong stuff between these three as they head through the Corvette curve. It's all going to be about not being the car in the lead heading down the straight unless you can pull away, which Steve-O is now going to try and attempt to do, but he has two teammates hounding behind him.
Sensational first lap here by these first three. Kept it clean and mean, and what about the action, ladies and gentlemen? Would it be even in the thought of Team GT Club to maybe let Matt Double just have the advantage here, get the suck from Madretsky and let him have a little bit of an attack there at Stephen Reese? It seemed like he had the pace in that first lap, but the two teammates just maybe just getting a little bit carried away with each other as well. But Stephen Reese taking well advantage of that, and on the medium compound, just starting to stretch the legs there of that Porsche RSR machine. Look at it there, the number 6. He's already stretched it out to about a second lead over Madretsky. Matt Double sitting there in third with the next Fargon car there of Longy. They're being just hounded by the other new member of Fargon Racing for this round, Linus. He's looking pretty pacey as well. The first of the AK cars is Alex McEwen. He's made his way up beyond Nick Mello as well. Those two guys battling it out, or just maybe just giving each other a bit of a leapfrog moment. Let's ride on board McMello and see how these two guys operate up the main straight. A little bit of a suck, show the nose, say thank you very much, and then you'll probably see McEwen just duck into the slipstream as well, taking advantage. Here he goes again, just gets in behind. Nicely done in the teamwork department as Longy just steps out of the way as well, with Linus going up the inside there and rounding out the top 4 at the moment.
Yeah, looking very racy though are the other cars behind him, with Longy, Mallow and McEwen. They're all catching up at a rate of knots here too, so no one's going to want to be battling too hard on this section. They know that it's all about slipstream. That's where the pace is. They try to overlap each other and then give each other another toe once they get through each chicane. So that's going to be the status of the night. And with Dretzky, that lead was 9/10 of a second. Now it's down to half a second at least there through this straight alone. So you can see how much time it is gaining you for sure. But these boys know what to do. It's about team battling here. And at the moment, inside the top 5, there is no AK Racing. It is all GD Club and Fargon, all having the best tussle here. How long until Nick Mallow and Alex McEwen can get involved? But look at this. Double is now under threat from the operating system, who has upgraded his ram speed and just gone bang. I'm giving you the old 6,000. You got the 5.5. And I'm going straight around the outside, taking that position again. Medium tyre versus medium tyre. Madretsky doing really good to hang on for second place in the hard. But geez, if you were with Matt Double at the moment, you'd be thinking, surely Drav will let me go past, because that's hurt me. And now I'm under threat within the top 5 at the moment, because I've gone from 3rd down to 4th. And it's probably only a lap before I'm getting past once again before the hard runners come through.
Yeah, it's all going to be about managing your race, and you really don't want to be dropping down that much strategy. Definitely going to play a big part, as we're currently looking at Andre Elliott and Seal going at it at the moment, as it looks like they're going to be wheel to wheel here through the next part of the circuit. And yes, they are. They're heading towards the right-left complex of Indianapolis, and there we go, around the outside, slams the door shut as Andre Elliott. What a move there from him. He's absolutely flying. But another thing to consider here, between these leaders, we're seeing Madretsky gain a lot in the straights, even when he's been outside 1 second. That isn't just slipstream, that's wing level. You can adjust the rear wing downforce on these cars, of course, but it makes a significant difference in your straight line speed. And I think Steve-O might have gone for the priority in the 3rd sector. But here's another battle here. It's Matt Double and Nick Mello and Long going at it. There's contact there. They're bumping each other as they head into the Porsche curves. Fantastic stuff so far between these 3, and this invites Alex McEwen into it as well. And we know Alex McEwen loves a couple of overtakes, so this is going to be absolutely fantastic for him. He's going to be sitting there licking his lips going, when can I get involved in this one? As he has his teammate in front of him, Nick Mello. He won't want to fight too hard with him, but Mello looks like he's fallen off the back there after a little mistake while trying to stay with Matt Double.
Yeah, he just had a bit of a hiccup through that final sector there, and you could see that McEwen had the run on him, but up in front there, it is a battle with Long and Double going hard at it, so they're not going to be able to really break free of these 2 AK drivers behind in Mello and McEwen. As long as these 2 guys are battling, it's going to be a 4-car pile here at the moment, so just keeping an eye on Longy's pace here at the moment. He's managed to get past Matt Double, but I think it was due to a bit of that action that we saw just into that turn there. A bit of the smoke, a bit of maybe early race nerves there from Matt Double. He was on fire in that first lap, but then the medium tyres that he's on maybe just starting to get beyond their optimal grip strength, and now he's under pressure here big time from Nick Mello. You can see right up, backed up as well with McEwen there in behind. Only a matter of 2/10. Once they get around this sector here, it's going to be the back straight, which is the longest of them all, and we're going to see that suck come into play. Zach O'Reilly.
Yeah, look at them. They're all having a good old tussle here, and it's going to be a 3-way train. And at the front of that one, right at this moment, the human centipede is Matt Double, and he's got smashed at the moment. Look at that rear wing just completely decimating the pace there of Matt Double. That's probably why he was so quick on the opening lap, because those tyres weren't up to temperature, but the downforce helped him. And Matt's on the slide there. You can see it. He's made an error there. He's locked it up, and Alex McEwen's going to be all over him like a bad smell at this stage. You can see them now having a good crack. McEwen going for it, the move. He's right up his clacker here of Double. Can he go for it and get maybe a double suck there of Mallow in front of him? Double tried to do that himself, but saw that there was a car there, so he couldn't do that exact thing. And now McEwen's got the perfect opportunity here to get a good old suck off his teammate in front of him in Mallow. It is beautiful stuff. Look at that. 3/10 covering these 3 drivers in total. Going to come down the second part of the Mulsanne straight into the final chicane we go. Then it's a fast right-handed heavy braking zone as well coming up. Who can come out on top? But Matt Double has gone from 3rd all the way down to 7th within a good couple of laps here. Not the ideal situation for him. His teammate 1.4 seconds out behind Stephen Rees in Dravel Mid with Dretzky, but doing a great job on those hard compound tyres. A bit of a different strategy here for those GT Club guys. Double is on the medium and Madreski on the hard, so we'll see what these boyos can do. But Nick Mallows showing smoke signals into the hard braking zone. That's going to give McEwen a good odd run, but now McEwen's going to be under pressure here because Double's going to come at a rate of knots. He's going to try and get the suckage up the around the outside. In fact, though, is he going to try and make it 3 wide here? This could be feisty stuff. No, Double pulls out of that one. Doesn't want to get involved in this battle here. McEwen's going to go down the inside. Is there any bravery coming our way in about 14 seconds time by the time they hit the curves coming their way? Any heroism there from Nick Ballard on the outside? It's going to be tentative stuff here, but down the inside they both go take the tight line. So does Matt Double behind, and McEwen pops out from 7th into 5th in a lap and a half. Beautiful stuff there, Lindsay.
Yeah, he's absolutely flying as McEwen, and now he's got to keep his eyes forward and look towards Andrew Long, and he'll surely close up in soon enough time, but he's got to make sure in the meantime that Nick Mello isn't forced to pressure his own teammate, because Matt Double is knocking on his door at the moment here. It's already been quite a quick start to the race, 12 minutes in, but still absolutely no signs of slowing down, and I don't think there will be at a track like this with so much slipstream, with so many straights. It is going to be absolutely pedal to the metal from start to finish here from these drivers as we currently look to Seal and McPherson looking to go at it. So it is a Fargorn and GT Club, if I'm not mistaken, battle. Oh no, it's Fargorn and AK. It's Andre Elliott. I've got my timing tower mixed up once again, like I did last round, as Michael Seal looking to pressure Andre Elliott at the moment as they head through the third sector, but it's just about following, and also, as I said earlier, the variance in the downforce these drivers might have could definitely play a part in being able to stay with the car in front, and it can come back to you at different parts around the lap. As in the background there, McPherson, it does look like he is in a bit of a battle though with Jay and Peter Van Wingard, as well as Husey as well. So it looks like there's a bit of a tussle going on at the moment between two GT Club cars, a AK car and a Oz NZ car at the moment as they head onto the next lap of this race. Jay looking like he's under a lot of pressure here from Peter Van Wingard, which, as we saw, he had some absolute flying pace in the radicals, not so much here in Le Mans, but still 16th, not a bad position whatsoever, and there's still a long time to go in this race. Strategy can definitely still play a part, as that's a big lock up there from McPherson.
Yeah, it's all opened up now. Big lock up there, and his teammate just backs up behind him now and probably just needs to get up the inside, which he does, and McPherson gives him the room. But Lord about Nathan Hughes just taking advantage of all that and just sliding up around, but he's going to lose it. He's about to hold on to it here, but Peter Van Wingard had to check up because Hughesy in front was in all sorts of trouble, sideways, crossed up, manages to save it, and makes a position in the meantime. So fantastic opportunity awareness there from Hughes. I don't know if that's a phrase at all, but there's a battling going on down here as well with Ryan Anderson up next to Georgie Gardner. They're going to go side by side down the straight. Bit of side drafting here exactly, but there's a bit of a car width between them. Anderson just getting in front, chopping the nose off. Geez, there wouldn't have been much in that by the time he came across, but here goes Gardner sending it back up the inside. Return post, he says. Return to sender. Thank you very much, and he will resume in 18th position and 19th position.
Well, he's trimmed the hedges beautifully there as the Gardner, but he's got the matrix behind, the simulations coming through, and he's going to take that position right back as he should, because there is beautiful downforce advantage there. If you haven't got wing on, you're going to be flying down this Mulsanne straight, and you can see it happening now. Once again there, the Matrix versus the hedge trimmer are going hammer and tong, but it's going to be at the moment, it looks like a sneaky move up the inside again there from the hedge trimmer, and he's gone bang. He's squared up that beautiful box hedge there and absolutely handed in the invoice and said, piss off, mate, I'm done, I'm off to the next job. That was a beautiful move, clean as you like there, and credit to the Matrix just sending it as hard, but couldn't get the job done. Beautiful driving there from those two competitors on the circuit at the moment. Speaking of which, though, you can see the strut here. He is right up the clacker here of Mr. Alphabet, only 2/10 or 3/10 away in front in 15th. So we've got to look at that as these boys keep battling here. The Gardner is in the hot seat at the moment. He gets it pulled up nicely there, accelerates out of the right-hander and then up the road, and you can see that battling in front there, right on your screen. You can see the strut getting all that little bit closer to Mr. Alphabet himself in Jay. He is going for it. Can he get that job done in Eric? I'm looking at the moment, it's looking pretty tough. There's going to be some bravery here around the outside trailer park girl style. I don't think so. He's a little bit too far away at the moment is the strut, But I'm telling you, if he gets those dampers tuned right and gets his setup pointed into it, he'll be right there for the taking. And that is cracking stuff. Smoke signals, in fact, coming from that strut in front of him. But looking very, very racy, as is Nathan Hughes. Mr. Tokyo Drift himself loves a bit of sideway action. And then these Porsches, he held that one beautifully together through the Dunlop curve there. My goodness me, he was about to kill himself. McFadden, however, is right up the arse end here of Sandra's love child in James Bullock. This is going to be cracking stuff. 1.5 tenths between him. You can see the dirty air affecting him. You can see that rear wing starting to come into play there. Who's got the better downforce in the rear end is going to help you through this section here. It's left to right, right to left, upside down. It's called bowling, Max, you idiot. And I'll tell you what, it's beautiful stuff here to have a look at them all into battle and look at Jason McFadden trying to inject himself in the top 10 again.
Yeah, he's putting a lot of pressure on us now. We look to Van Wingard and Hughes. At the moment, it looks like Van Wingard just got back past Hughes here, who's dropped off the back as well. So maybe a mistake there from him, as now we look to Brent Matthews and Anderson, as well as Gardner just in front of them. So this is now becoming a three-way fight, but Gardner trying his best to try and get away. And that's a teammate swap there. Brent Matthews feeling that he has a bit more pace than Anderson to try and attack George Gardner. And it looks like they've made that swap, and we'll see how that develops. As meanwhile, now we look to Bullock and McFadden, and that is move done there from McFadden up into 10th position. Meanwhile, at the front, the operating system, Linus, sitting 6/10 behind Madretsky, so this could be a battle soon enough, but Steve-O still controlling this race out in P1, 1.5 seconds clear. And I would dare say that being on the medium tyres, probably, would you assume in the next 15-20 minutes, those pit stops should start being in play.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see exactly who pulls the trigger first. The mediums probably start to wear around lap 5, and after around lap 7, from all accounts, they start to get a bit sketchy. So where are we up to now? We're only 4 laps in, so that sheen is starting to wear off the mediums. The hards, on the other hand, they last for about 8 laps comfortably, from what we've been told. So Madretsky in a pretty good position, honestly. He's only 1.2 seconds behind the leader here at the moment. And I'll tell you what, if Rees pits himself after about 7 laps or so, he could get, we could see a situation that unfolded, English please, last round, where the guys that pitted first ended up just pitting themselves into traffic and pretty much pitting them out of contention, Zachariah.
Yeah, well, you look at the track map there, and the traffic might not be an issue. They're all starting to spread out a little bit. But once they all do single file in, the beauty of it is we've got about 6 kilometres of straight air to get the suck in before any corners come towards them. So a little bit of something to think about nonetheless. All of their track maps up on screen, looking at where they can come in and where they don't want to pit at some certain time. So that will be something to look out for, ladies and gentlemen. Keep yourselves strapped in for that time. As Lindsay Muddle said, it could happen within the next 10-15 minutes or so, and that is where we want to do. Jason McFadden has just pinned on to the Stephen Rees line and thought, bugger it, I'm going to go out there, and that is why he is showing pace. However, he has got done again by Sandra's love child, so it's a little bit of a mix between these two battling for the final position inside the top 10. They've got no time to be made up between suckages between themselves and the next guy in front, Matthias Falzon, in 9th. And as Alex McEwen's father said, Scotty McEwen, in the chat, a good mixture of all clubs inside the top 10. Couldn't agree with you more there, mate. It's just a show of how much talent is out there in the world of AC. Speaking of talent, Jason's trying to do himself an absolute favour here and power around the outside. Beautiful stuff there from Jason McFadden. Bravery at its finest, gets the job done. Now he's just got to take the half-width track line into this corner to make sure the exit is not compromised too much, and he's done that beautifully now. Is he going to be under threat, because we've still got a little bit of a straight here to come from Sandra's love child behind him. He's just about in that suck range now. 3 tenths now is dying down. Now it's going to be under 2 tenths of a second. 2.5 tenths. Can we get to the braking zone before they get into the left-right chicanery bowling Max your dickhead section here at Le Mans, and they can't get it done. That looks like Jason McFadden has secured that. If he gets it sorted, speaking of secured, it's nothing but Nathan Hughes' windscreen's got more cracks than a nudist beach in it at the moment, but he doesn't care. He's flying here for 18th versus 17th position. Here's got Gardner on the outside. The old hedge trimmer's going for it. Up the inside goes Nathan Hughes. Oh, on the grass he goes. That was sketchy stuff. Oh, my goodness gracious me. That was pure balls to the wall racing, Nathan Hughes style. Never fails to excite when he's on the stream. Heather Hughes out there, if you're watching, hope you are well. Oh, look at that. Even perfectly on cue there goes Nathan Hughes. Beautiful slide. Fantastic stuff.
Fantastic commentator's curse as well. It's all happening in that stakes, but as you can see him just pulling out of that, I think those tyres are just a little bit cooked there. He's on the hards, but that doesn't stop him. There's a car coming into the pits. I believe that is Brent Matthews, but he's overcooked it on the entry and ends up in the sand, so that's going to cost him a few positions once he comes out. From what we've been told by all the leagues, the pit entry is extremely tricky, and the first man to go through it has shown us why. Brent Matthews just losing out there indeed, but he'll come out with a smile on his face and a new set of boots in just a moment. Up the front, however, Steve Reese has just set the fastest lap of the race, maybe trying to set a few hot laps before he comes in for his pit stop, just to turn the screws and make use of that medium tyre at the death.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's going to be interesting. And Lindsay Muddle, before you can commentate, my friend, have you got your English skills on board? Because we've got 38 minutes and 48 seconds left to go in this one. It's going to be fiery once those pit stops come in, my old friend.
Yeah, well, it looks like my English skills have returned since qualifying, so I think we're good, but give it now 5 seconds because I'm going to have comms cursed myself. Yes. But, I think Steve-O is looking to push on in this stint, make the most of the remaining shreds of rubber on those medium tyres and trying to bridge a gap before he has to come into the pit lane. So we've already seen one driver in. Who will be the next to blink? I'm not entirely sure, but that is absolutely the beauty of racing. It's so unpredictable, and we're only 22 minutes into this one. There's a lot more racing action to come, as you were saying, Zach O'Reilly, so it's still anybody's game, and there's still a lot of pit stops left to go and a lot of close battles out on the track. And I think one that's catching my eye at the moment is Alex McEwen and Andrew Long. He's closing in. So this has been going on for a few laps. We saw McEwen clear Nick Mello and Matt Double, and I said it'll only be a matter of a few laps before he's behind Andrew Long, and there he is. So he's now closed up. Overtaking, though, is a completely separate story.
It's true. His last lap around was a 3:57.1, plays a 3:57.1. So both of these guys doing pretty much identical lap times around the last time around. But 7/10, you're almost in that little slipstream range where Alex McEwen has, we've seen, has been so strong. He got past his teammate Nick Mello there a few laps ago, and you can see that gap now out to about 4 seconds. But I'll tell you what, the strategy in this race could be interesting because there is no need for a change of tyre compound or a change of tyres at all. It's merely a mandatory pit stop. So you can, if you're feeling lucky, if you're feeling like Clint Eastwood in Dirty Harry, you could just fill up the tank, keep the boots on, save yourself about 15 seconds in the pit lane, and chance your arm, throw the dice, play a bit of craps here at Le Mans at the in the French style, and go to the end. So I'd like to see someone do that. I don't know if they're going to. It's quite a brave move indeed, Zach O'Reilly, but we've seen stranger things in the past.
We've seen stranger things. Speaking of that, that's a good TV series if you ever want to get onto it. But at the same time, you've got to think about the long run. Are you going to risk it and maybe just give yourself that tyre delta at the end, or are you just going to not take it? Because I'm telling you, fueling up for this race is pretty damn slow, I would say. So a tyre compound change could be the way to go. It might not be. Hopefully those hard compound tyres there are going to get him the whole way, because at this rate it's looking pretty good. The internal sort of advice that we have got is the hards will last for about 8 laps and then they'll start to slide a little bit more. It's a bit unknown where they're going to go from there. And speaking of unknown, that is definitely a known problem. The hood lifting up at 290 kilometres an hour, smashing into your windscreen, is not what you want to have, nor those headlights cracked at this stage on Sandra's love child. He's just done over the AK Racing boys, who've also come into the pits of Mallow and and Falzon, sorry. They've both come in for a fresh set of boots, we would hope, and Doc Elliott both in as well. So a bit of strategy calls here for the AK Racing boys. Maybe if you're inside or just outside the top 10 and not in the top 5, you come into pits first, give us the feedback, and we'll see if we need to change those tyres.
Yeah, and I think that is definitely going to be the case, and teamwork here is going to be absolutely essential between all of the teams. So AK boxing 3 cars at the same time, definitely going to be interesting, and they're leaving information for the other boys that have stayed just up the road. As now we look to Darryl Daly, and it looks like O'Neill just up the road from him. He's still circulating around the track, and I think that now with the pit stops underway, we are going to have a small lull period, but then again, Van Wingard sits just behind McPherson, so maybe not a moment of lull here in this race, at least yet, as they continue on in the slipstream, and they have Jay just up the road as well. So 34.5 minutes to go, a lot of pit stops left to be had. And just touching on the trying to take one tyre the whole way, I'm not sure. I think I would love to see it as well be attempted, but you get to the point where you might have saved 15 seconds by not taking tyres, but will you lose that 15 seconds heading towards the end of the race?
I mean, you certainly would, but you just, I guess you can go long. One of these guys that might have started down the mid-pack, maybe if they can chance their arm at a bit of defence, but it's one of those tracks where it's really hard to defend any car that has better pace than you. Certainly, if they're running a lesser aero package than yourself, which we've seen here. Matt Double, certainly I think it seems to be one of the higher aero packages running on that car. He was very quick in the first opening lap, and Zach actually made that point earlier that it was probably because those tyres weren't up to temp, but he was gaining for the fact that he had that extra downforce. But once his competitors had the tyres up into the window, they were able to make short work of him, and one of them that did so is Alex McEwen. I think he started down around the 10th position mark, so making moves up through the order. Hasn't been able to close in on Andrew Long in front. You can see that gap about 1.1 seconds. Last time we looked, it was around 7/10, so he's actually lost out a little bit in that last little session. And we're coming up close now to half race distance. And all the field is nicely spread out here at the moment, but we're going to see, I think, a lot of these cars starting to peel into the pits. A lot of cars out there now on the hard tyre, so perhaps going to the end on that and a full tank of gas. There's a few people still out there on the mediums.
Look, you can think about it two ways. We won't ramble too much on about strategy, but final call on that is you can also fuel save, ladies and gentlemen. You could get yourselves to 12 laps with a bit of fuel saving if you are on, say, a hard compound tyre, not pushing them too far. But speaking of which, into the pit comes Alex McEwen, so nothing on his mind. But that is another way to go about it. You can fuel save and just do a last-minute splash and dash and get to the end and put a change of tyres on there as well if you want to. If you've been on that harder compound at the start, you could go to the really super soft one at the end, or the soft compound tyre for a quick 3-lap dash, or the medium. In fact, it's up to you. Or you can just not change tyres and just do that splash and dash to the end, because you have been saving those compounds underneath the cockpit of yours. We'll see what Alex McEwen does at the moment. He's in there for a little bit now. Steve Rees is just doing low 55s just to take the absolute P155 out of everyone tonight, and just leading this race by a commanding 4.2 odd second gap over Madretsky. But there is a compound difference between the two of them, so it'll be interesting to see, is Madretsky going to learn from this one and go onto the medium compound for his final stint, or is he not going to change tyres? We'll find out. But speaking of which, the underwater mammal inside the top 10 after the AK Racing boys came into the pits, and Falzon and Mallow and McEwen too. So effectively at this point in time, he could be sitting around 12th overall, but doing a great job here on those medium tyres. Looking very, very nice indeed. As smooth as a seal's back as well, to be said there too. So very, very nice stuff indeed. But those pits are coming in. Marzella is in. The old cheese is in. The head of the cheese board himself is in the pits now, Lindsay Muddle. And this is where it starts to get spicy with 30-odd minutes left.
Yep, this is where it starts to become a really interesting race, seeing where people come out in relation to one another. As here we see George Gardner racing Jay up the road, the two teammates swapping around but then he'll have a second go at it here with the slipstream unless they just continue to stay too wide, which is looking likely. There we go. Gardner cuts back across as they head down the Mulsanne. So absolutely humongous straight, this one, creating a lot of overtaking in this race. And as you were saying, it's really hard to defend around this circuit because of that fact, because you might be able to defend just around, oh, that's very wide there from Gardner, nearly into the wall. You might be able to defend through the twisty sectors, like the third sector, where you can just try and really back up a bit and just back up the drive, trying to overtake you. But you get to the straights and they're absolutely going to blitz you no matter what. So it's really just a game of being on the right strategy, I think, here at Circuit de la Sarthe, because having the best tyres at the end is pretty important, because pace is just so critical around here if you don't want other cars overtaking you.
Yeah, it's all about the timing when you want to pull out that pace. As we've seen Steve Rees just turning the screws in this last 5 minutes, or 5 or 7 minutes here, and absolutely gapping Madretsky there in second position, putting about 3 seconds on him in a very short amount of time. But yeah, as you were saying, Lindsay, and to add to that, it's a very hard circuit to defend. All of these guys probably doing a fair bit of due diligence. I mean, that's hard to say even after you've or before you've had a bottle of wine. It's these guys have probably done the setup work and just trying to turn the screws and try to make sure they can get as low a downforce and as much top speed as they can. It's one of those circuits where you need that on your side, but it's always a compromise between the twisty third and first sectors and then the wide open second sector. So we'll see who lines up. Speaking of which, this guy's starting to catch up to Dravelmere here in second position.
Yeah, he just showed a little bit of a wag there, though, however, on that medium tyre. But the old operating system is 100% up there. He's really putting the screws down now. Those hard tyres are coming out of their order for Madretsky. Just a little bit slidey, I would say, then. They've both come into the pits at the same time. So a bit of a pit battle here. Who's been able to save that little bit more fuel time by time again? That could be the 2 or 3 tenths between a pit stop coming out in front or not. So you've got to make sure that you're all over that as well, because if Drav's been saving fuel in the last lap, that'll save him probably half a litre, which will equal about a tenth of a second, so he'll be able to stretch his lead over there. It's about the micro sectors, ladies and gentlemen, in racing, and you can see what's going on. And speaking of the devil, in comes the race leader is in the pits too, Stephen Rees. He's sitting there as well. He's just come in, so a fair way to go. In fact, why has he come in so late? That is a question, because I swear the other boys came in first. No, they didn't. I've been absolutely cursed myself. Out comes Stephen Rees. Beyonce is out in front on those set of hards there, 8 laps out, but he's not too far down the road, in fact, from Stephen Rees. So that is your indicator of where you can come from, sitting in about 8th or 9th. He was as well. McPherson's gone up. Wingard's gone up too as well. And now it's all happening. Steve Rees is out of the pits and ready to go. And geez Louise, this is on like Donkey Kong, Lindsay.
Yeah, it really is, and look at how far in front Steve-O's come out. Where's Madretsky in relation? He's only just heading down the hill now, and he has Peter Van Wingard and McPherson in front for traffic as well. So how's that, Steve Rees? Take a bow. He's had an absolute strategic... Yeah, he has been absolutely blessed in this one. That's going to be a big gap that he's got there. That's over 6 seconds, and with traffic as well, it's just going to get even worse for Madretsky here, I think, and the operating system sitting behind might want to get his nose in by the looks of it for Fargo and Racing, helping out the race leader, his teammate, as we're currently looking to Alex McEwen. But here we go, back to the straight. Here's Van Wingard, Linus, and Madretsky as they head down the Mulsanne and towards the chicane they go. They're going to stay single file after a little bit of chopping and changing down the straight. So Madretsky sitting now behind Peter Van Wingard. Still Linus not able to put the pressure on, despite the fact he was only 700ths behind heading into the chicane. And now he has the big run with the slipstream as he's now going to make his way down the straight. You can't forget about McPherson, another second up the road though later on. But here goes Madretsky, pulls to the left-hand side. That'll be the inside for the next chicane, and he's going to slam the door shut, and he's through on both of them. Only one more car of traffic, but look at the damage that's inflicted. That is 6.6 seconds to Steve Reese. Once he clears McPherson, it'll be about 5.6 if it stays how it is at the moment. That is so damaging.
Yeah, that was a very fortunate event there, but perhaps luck favours the brave there as well as the talented, because Steve Rees, we saw just turning the screws in that final stint, or the final few laps of that stint, and just putting the gap on Drav there, as well as Drav maybe just struggling a little bit as well, as we saw him fall back into the lap of Linus, who as well is in the midst of a battle here with Peter Van Wingard, who has yet to pit. He's on the hards. So is McPherson. So those guys are technically not in this battle, but they are racing for position, so they are well within their right to put the defensive wall up. But in the grand scheme of things, it's probably best for them to just wave the white flag and let these guys through. But an interesting talking point has just been sent through, or actually quite some time ago in the chat. It's Scott McEwen says that Alex McEwen has come out on the super hard, the only driver to explore that option here so far in this race. The super hard will certainly, I guess that will last to the end. Will the guys on the hards that have come out halfway through, Stephen Rees is going to try and push on the mediums, maybe half a race. That's a long way to go. He'll be struggling towards the end. Keep an eye on Alex McEwen and see what happens near the end here with that super hard tyre.
Well, they were mentioned that they could go the whole race distance, no worries, to be quite truthful. I'm surprised that no one just chose that from the start and just took the old 15-second difference there on changing the tyres, so to speak. But could be interesting. We'll see what his pace is at the moment. His best is a 3:56.1, so his current lap now is going to be just a little bit short of that, I would say. But it's going to be interesting. We can see how he navigates these turns now. He's just taking a little bit more inside curve to make use of the outside, because as you know in racing, ladies and gentlemen, if you can't get the exits quick, you are not going to be that exactly. So focusing on a different bit of driving style could help Alex McEwen here in the long run, coming from 5th at the moment on the grid effectively before his pit stop was flying stuff. You can see that tail wagging there, just not liking the change of direction too much. It's nearly a 4 minute, to be honest, a 3:59 and a half. So a good 3.2 second difference there, in fact, with the super hard compared to the medium compound that he was on. That probably won't be enough unless these hard tyres start to heat up and get in the mix. In fact, he nearly just locked it up as we crossed past him in the rear end. So a little bit of brake bias there to be done for it. But there is 23 minutes left in this one. Yes, the timing tower is a little bit off kilt at the moment because that pit window open sign was not supposed to be there, but it is. So that is for you, Mad Maddie, in the chat there. Good to have you along as well. We're in the dying moments. If it's a 4 minute odd lap, I would say that would be 5 and a bit laps left to go, maybe, at this stage for the racing. No safety cars tonight, have been informed. The guys did the best start I've ever seen in my life. 4 wide, everyone got in there and had a good old crack. This man here is effectively leading the race. Beyonce's out in front only by 2.7 seconds, though, yet to pit. So Stephen Rees has got, I reckon, now it's about 10, nearly 11 seconds over Madretsky. That gap was only 5 and a bit at the pit stop, Lindsay Muddle.
Yeah, it's absolutely monumental pace from Steve-O's. Where is Madretsky? I can't see him on the timing tower.
5th.
Oh, 5th. There we go. It's saying he didn't serve his pit stop.
Ooh, interesting. That's probably just a glitch in the system. Not a perfect system here is this timing tower, but it does show us the positions, shows us their names and the tyres. And for this round, thanks to me, ladies and gentlemen, a little bit of team information there as well. So you've got the logos there of each team beside the name, so making it easy to see. I'll tell you what, GT Club have made a big push towards the middle section of this race. A lot of red I can see in the middle of that timing tower.
Lindsay.
Yeah, okay. I wasn't sure who was going to be next. I lost count of where we were.
Go for it.
Yeah, definitely they're making a resurgence here in the next half, and I hope for all intensive purposes for Madretsky that this is a bug, that it's showing that he hasn't served his pit stop. I imagine it would be, but you never know. Sim racing is a cruel world, much like real life motorsport at the best of times. So we'll see towards the end of the race. Mark Knowles only 2 seconds up the road from Steve-O, so potentially a little bit of traffic problems on the way for Steve-O just to dish it back what he got lucky with when he came out of the pits, but he's 10 seconds clear of Madretsky at the moment, so I don't think he's going to be that stressed about it. He's absolutely showing a masterclass of pace and just outright consistency. It's almost brutal for the rest of the drivers. How can you keep up with that?
Yeah, very tough indeed. He's certainly done his homework here tonight, as was evident in qualifying. He just set the timing tower alight, actually packed up early for those just joining the stream. It was an impressive lap, to say the least, and I think he knew in the back of his mind that he was pretty untouchable here tonight.
Yeah, definitely the old unstoppable force meets an immovable object. That is Stephen Rees there for sure. And the only immovable object at the moment is the checkered flag until it is waved. He's got a little bit to do here at the moment. He will have some traffic to come in his way, so look out for that. But this is a good old battle here. We've got Jay versus Austin. Only 8 tenths between the two of them, and it is GD Club versus Fargon Racing at this stage. And you can see now Mark Knowles is into the pits, and he is done. So Beyonce's going to lose that P1. Stephen Rees is going to come across. The old operating system will sit in third place himself. So it's good to see here. But in comes into the pit in front of him was the old hedge trimmer himself. Gardner McEwen gets 8th place on those super hard compound tyres. The only one on those at the moment, and putting an experiment out there for the rest of them. Whether it pays off or not, it's yet to find out. Longy is all over the back of the strut now, though. This is very, very close indeed. 4 tenths of a second. These guys are going to have a good old battle down the Mulsanne Straight coming our way in about 12, 13 seconds time, as they make their way underneath the Dunlop overpass there. Down through the right-hander we go. Another sweeping left coming their way. Very, very tricky this corner coming up. It's on camber, and then it's off camber as it goes to the right-hand side again for the next right, which is onto that infamous straight. 290 kilometres an hour plus here, mind you, ladies and gentlemen. That is moving. I'm giving it a hot tip. Oh, massive, massive moment there for the strut. He absolutely sidestepped his way out of that one, and that is the easiest overtake of the night there for Longy. He's got 4.2 seconds now to catch up to the back of Madretsky there, which effectively at this stage is for P3, and that could be on like Donkey Kong. Beyonce's come out from first place into 13th now, just behind Falzon, who's rotated around a couple of times before this pit stop. So the fresher of the boots there is going on Knowles' hand, and he's got the quicker compound. He's on the medium. Falzon is on the hard. Now it's a drag race down the Mulsanne Straight we go. We can see Knowles within 3 tenths now. That's going to eradicate itself within about 4 seconds' time. If you can get there, look at the suck now. The French girls are going nuts here. They think it's snails. Bugger that, I'm getting something else here on the racetrack. I'm going for it here, but just pulls out at the last minute, does Knowles, and thinks, yep, I'll just sit here for the next one. No point going for an overtake here. Strategical game of chess, as Chris Munro says. Some others play checkers, and at the moment it looks like Noel is going for the checkmate.
Yeah, here he goes now. Just had a perfect run through the chicane, and is going to give Falzon a bit of a bath here on the way through on the brand new medium compound, and you can see how much of a difference that makes through the sticky parts of this circuit. He goes straight past and says, "Thank you very much. We're going to join in." Or actually, no, we're not going to let go of this, because Falzon is going to return that sender straight up the inside of the next one. But return of the Mac. He goes back, and now it's Noel's turn to return for the next one. He has got a perfect exit as well. So it probably pulls out a slipstream a little bit early, but it's going to be enough here to make that overtake around the outside. They're going side by side now, coming into the right-hander. He's on the other side of the road here. Let's see if he can hang it fat around the outside. He does, and gets into the braking zone, makes that overtake stick. And the captain there of Oz New Zealand has absolutely binned it. That's going to be big damage there for Knowles as well. You can see there the bonnet flapping around like my lips after a bottle of red wine. He is in big trouble now, going backwards. But the commentator's curse strikes again.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, that front bumper is as rippled as a lizard's back. I'm telling you, that does not look pretty at this point in time. He'd be spewing about that. He was on for a good old tussle there with Falzon, but Falzon's going to skip off down into the distance there. A bit of a recap here for everyone. Stephen Rees and Linus Fargon 1-2. GD Club in third of Madretsky. Wingard from Oz New Zealand Racing in fourth. Longy Fargon. GD Club from McPherson. McEwen in AK Racing in seventh place. Double for GD Club. For Matt Double, so to speak, and going for Nick Mallow in the last of the AK Racing, and Oz New Zealand again inside the top 10. A good showing here from these boys. They were a bit outdone in the old Radicals last round, but they're coming to fruition here in these rear-engine cars, Lindsay Muddle, and it's looking pretty pacey here for Mr. Anderson.
Yeah, a lot of the drivers, I think, coping a little bit better with these RSRs, and I think that as much as they're really tricky to drive, I think they're just a little bit more familiar for a lot of these drivers. I think the Radical is so far left field in the way that you need to drive them, as that is Van Wingard now into the pit lane to make his mandatory stop. But yeah, I think that just being a GT car, no ABS, some traction control, I think as much as they're hard to drive at the limit, they're a little bit more familiar for a lot of these drivers out there on the track.
Yeah, it's true. This is the choice for the viewers at home. Each of the club get a choice of car and track combo. So tonight is, funnily enough, Fargon's choice. As you can see, they've got 3 drivers in the top 4, so perfectly suited to their type of driving and what they do in the Fargon server. I know they do a lot of ACC stuff, so a lot of GT3 madness happening in that server, and as well as a bit of a mixed bag. They do a similar thing to the Wednesday Cup, where they have a lot of varied circuits and varied cars on a Wednesday night. But you can see the GT drivers just rising, the cream rising to the top here in these RSR cars. They do not have ABS, as you can tell with a lot of the smoke signals being sent up by a few of these drivers into the hard braking zones. But as you said, Lindsay, the downforce, I think, is very familiar to a lot of these drivers. So certainly in their element, and showing us all how it's done out the front here is Steve Rees and Maurice Linus.
Yeah, the operating system having a good old crack. These two, 1-2, Fargon. Beautiful stuff from them involved, and yeah, that's just a clinic here at the moment. The Fargon races are ACC experts, so to speak, so they run predominantly GT3 cars, and it's showing them tonight that something similar of a GTE is not too far away from that familiar land here with these cars, and they're looking very, very good tonight. Going to take P1 and 2 at this stage unless something disastrous happens to them coming at the end of the race, which we don't want a commentator curse anyone into. It is even Stevens and ready to rock and roll. Cowie Motorsport has gone, what's the AK car and track combo? Well, no one knows until that week of it. The next one is Oz New Zealand's theme. They will be choosing the track and car. AK Racing's is the last one of the whole 4-round event. So stick your eyes in between your knees and blindfold yourself until that happens, because you won't find out for another couple of weeks. But it's beautiful stuff here. The operating system's just doing it lovely here. He's got no viruses. He's got no hacking attempts here. And he's just driving the wheels off this thing. Full focus forward here at the moment is Linux. And very, very top driving. All the grid at the moment are averaging around 3 or 4 second gaps between first all the way down to 24th in your timing tower. With 12 minutes and 51 seconds to go, I would have expected things to fire up. So that is the cue. Right now, the commentator fire up curse is about to happen here, Lindsay Buttle. And speaking of which, has this man got those super hards fired up?
Yeah, well, sitting in 5th position at the moment, 12 minutes or 12 and a half minutes to go. He's got 5 or 6 seconds behind him to Matt Double, and then 8.5 up the road to Longy. So I think he's going to be hard tasked to really move past 5th position in this race, but I think the super hards for him just being quite manageable and making it easier for him to go to the end of this race. So I think that's just a positive there for Alex McEwen. I think he knows that he's safe. He doesn't have to worry about it. And Steve-O, meanwhile, we've already seen him make the mediums go 6 laps in this race earlier on. He went actually more than that. He went 7 laps before he boxed. So he'll have no problems getting those mediums to the end, as we know. And I think a lot of these drivers share the same as they head towards the end of this race. Van Wingard made a late stop, and now he's trying to attack George Gardner as they head into Arnage. So a slow hairpin followed by the run towards the Porsche curves. I don't know if he's going to mount a charge here up into this fast, twisty sector. But I'll tell you what, we've spoken about him a lot, but Linus is absolutely flying, and Bodretsky as well in the 55s. So a lot of these drivers inside the top 4, very similar on pace. But here comes Van Wingard. He is going to go for it towards the Porsche curve. So he looks to the right-hand side, and now he's going to go up the inside of the Porsche curves. Easy does it there, and he gets through into 14th position, 5 seconds up the road to McPherson. Can he close that gap in 11 minutes? That is going to be a good question. He is absolutely rapid, is Van Wingard, and we saw it in the Radicals as well. But yeah, it is going to be absolutely fantastic to see how this race really ends. But Bullock in 12th at the moment, inside 1 second of Andre Elliott, so that could be a battle that's about to kick off. soon enough. And I believe outside of the two that we were just watching, this is the closest battle on the circuit.
Yeah, it certainly is. 7/10 the difference. As we've seen in the past, and the many streams that we've done here at Sensational TV. Oh, big smoke signals there from Sandra's love child, but that gap just teetering out to... teetering in. There's a big mistake from Elliott, and that brings James Bullock right on the back. These guys have raced before, ladies and gentlemen, in the Wednesday Cup. I remember calling these guys back in the day, so they're quite familiar with each other's driving style, and they will know where to make the move here. But Bullock looking pretty strong here in the late stages of this race. He does have the advantage of the medium tyre. That might peter out towards the end of this race, so... Andre Elliott maybe just biding his time here, and if he can hold him off for as long as possible, he might be able to return fire near the end of this race. There's a big gap to Mark Knowles up in front of these two, so I think it's kind of damage control here for a lot of these drivers here at the moment. I don't think there'll be many moves made from now towards the end. But it is all happening here up the front because Mello has just gotten past Mac Double actually. Mello just looking a little bit out of sorts there out of that turn, getting all sorts of sideways, and returning the favour is Matt Double up the inside. That was strange. We just caught the end of that. Maybe just a half mistake there from Nick Mello after the overtake.
Yeah, Nicholas probably just had a little bit of a moment coming into that, and they were side by side each other, and coming into the second of the chicanes there at the Mulsanne. That was probably just a mistake and a redress there. Fair play from Nick Mello. Knew he made a mistake, took advantage off the circuit, gave it back, but it's hurt him in the long run. So now Matt Double inherits 6th place. Beautiful stuff there. Can these boys go on forever here? It doesn't look like, because Mello is on the hard compound tyre. Unless he's got those things fired up, that should be interesting. What can these boyos do here for the minor placings here? It's still inside the top 10. It's a good showing. We've got three cars inside the top 10 from Fargon. We've got 2 from GD Club. We have got 4 inside the top 10 from AK Racing, and the last one is Oz New Zealand Racing in Knowles in Beyonce inside that top 10. Only 2.7 seconds away from Falzon, mind you, with 2 laps left in this one. I'm going to call it now. I'm going to say 2 laps. Could be wrong, but that could be a gap to look out for here. Nick Mello versus Matt Double still going on. James Bullock and Andre Elliott on your screen, still in that little tussle here. Doc nearly came through his own demise there as Bullock made an error at the start of this lap, but they're still fighting hammer and tong. Beautiful driving here from the both of them, really going at it, and you can see now it's just going to be who's got their eyes forward the most and who's not looking back too much. Bit of defensive driving from Doc Elliott. We know he can make that Porsche as wide as 4 of them on the circuit if he wants to get angry in the defensive department in the dying moments of this race, Lindsay.
Yeah, but the problem is this track can fit more than 4, so it's going to be quite difficult for Andre Elliott to be able to hold on, as Fargon in their decided race 1, 2 and 4 at the moment heading towards the final stretch. And I think you'd be right to say, Zach O'Reilly, that it is going to be 2 laps remaining in this race before we see the checkered flag fall. And what a 53 minutes it's been, might I add. Absolutely fantastic stuff. And something that I'm going to call her out right here, right now. Maddie, you need to get on Assetto Corsa because we've seen her in the GT Challenge fight Steve Reese. Can you imagine if Fargon had 2 Stevos on the grid tonight?
Whoa. Geez, they've pretty much done that anyway with Linus. But look at Mello just up the inside of Matt Double, just taking advantage of a little wide line there from Double. And Mello moves his way up into 6th position. Will Double have the pace to fight it? He's trying to hang on to that car. As you can see, the body language of both of these RSRs very loose there through the chicane. And that could be all she wrote there for this little battle. Maybe just giving up the suck there. Sorry to cut you off there, Lindsay, but can you imagine if Maddie did get her ass into Assetto Corsa? It would just do the world of good for everyone out there, I imagine.
2 Stevos on the track. That could be something for the homework of everyone else to analyse and see what they're doing. my goodness gracious me.
Almost as good as a couple of commentators out
yeah,
there
a
on
couple
the...
of us. Yeah, I was going to say that if they were out there, that would be a different story. Lindsay Mudd will have a lonely time in the commentary box.
Oh,
but
wow.
it would be good. And he's just thrown him under the bus. Sorry, Lindsay. But he's a quick customer himself, Lindsay. Don't you count him out. Anything open wheeler, he'd probably smoke me in Munro. I'll give you the hot tip. That guy is a single-seater masterclass, man. Anything cockpit, though, it's all up to C. Munro and Zed O'Reilly to battle it out for those placings. But speaking of battling, this is a cracker because you can see Bullock and Andre Elliott just trading places here. Just going left, right, upside down, you name it. They're having a good old chat to each sometimes near. Speaking of Morse code, nothing like that in the chat. It is full balls to the wall for Ron Marshall. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you for the $10 donation there. I really, really appreciate it. Your support here at Sensational TV goes a super long way. So if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to the channel. Click that notification bell as well to know when we broadcast next for all of our races coming your way in this channel. It's going to be on like Donkey Kong Wednesday Cup's coming up as well. So look out for that in 2 days' time. But boy, oh boy, this is where the action is at the moment. It's at the back here because Nathan Hughes, O'Neill, and the old head of the cheese board in Bazella is 100% on like Donkey Kong. Nathan Hughes is looking at that, licking his chops because if these boys come together, he's going to inherit maybe a 21st position over 23rd as we go down to Mulsanne Straight. This is it. Oh, full ambitious stuff here. Too wide into the first chicane we go. The right-hander to the left, and the old cheese board gets out in front, taking over the Savoys as the favourite onside that board and going for the move. Got that job done beautifully there. And now it's up to O'Neill to get that move back. You can see them weaving and winding. Oh, down the straight again we go. And they're going to be in the suck battle. But I think O'Neill's car has got an absolute barnstormer of a drag reduction on the front there. Or a drag increase, because that bonnet is 100% pointing up to the sky. And I could say something, but I won't. But at the moment, boy, oh boy, you can see O'Neill closing in ever so much, and more cracks than a nudist beach on those goddamn headlights there for O'Neill. Lindsay Muddle.
Yeah, definitely not ideal. I wonder when he sustained that damage, because we've seen a few cars like that. You'd imagine it'd be in that opening lap, but then again, we saw no cars turned around or wide or anything, so it's really just a question of when he did it. But now he's going to pull to the right-hand side and fly past Marzella, or at least he's going to try heading into the next complex. They're drag racing down into the hairpin, and we've seen cars hold it a long way around here before, but Marzella... Oh, no, sorry, not Marzella. O'Neill is going to get the move done on Marzella. I've absolutely crossed up my drivers once again, ladies and gentlemen. I can't keep an eye on the timing tower properly. So when the English skills return, the timing tower reading leaves.
No, you need 3 eyes sometimes. It's hard to keep your eye on all the action, especially when you've got 30-odd cars on the grid and all in the capable hands of a fair bunch of good drivers as well. So certainly a lot of action to keep your eye on. So you are forgiven. Up ahead, though, Andre Elliott, should I say, just getting a little bit sideways out of the final. Gee, I've never called him Andrew before, but welcome, Andrew, to the chat here in 12th position and chasing down Justin Bullock. I may as well. I'm in for a penny, in for a pound. I know it's James. They are in a battle as who is that? Chandler Geitzman says Wednesday Cup is the best cup. You're not wrong about that, Chandler Geitzman. Those of you at home who want to get involved, Sensational TV does have our own Discord channel now opened up, and the Wednesday Cup is happening there. Full steam ahead in that Discord. So all the drivers lining up for a hot round on Wednesday night. So we might even think about opening it up to the whole community out there as well for the final 2 rounds. So if you want to get involved, ladies and gentlemen, the waiver will be the fee will be waived for the last 2 rounds, and come and join the fun because geez, it adds to the excitement there having your broadcast happen here on Sensational TV. In the meantime, Andrew Elliott, sorry Doc, I'm just rubbing it in here at the moment. He's chasing down James Bullock, but just doesn't quite have the pace to get on the back of him, Zach O'Reilly. Maybe in the next, lap and a half, if he can get there.
No, not going to be a lap and a half, Christopher Munro, because it's minute 33 to go, and Stephen Rees is probably not going to get there, I would say, to the end of it. It's a long shot. He's at 2 minutes 36 on this lap. There is not 3 minutes and 50-odd seconds left on the board. I reckon if I I'm looking like right full in the commentary box. Chris can belt me later after the stream. But I think this could be it for this man at the moment. 1 minute and 6 seconds left to go. He is 2/3 of the way around this circuit. Is he going to get there for a bit of one more time, or is he just going to call it quits? Because at the moment, he's got 5 and a bit seconds up his sleeve to line us for a 1-2. And it could be a far gone domination on that podium here with 50 seconds left. The pit window has closed. No more pit stops. No many involved. That is it. This is going to be the final couple of moments here. We're at 3 minutes 20 and 40 seconds to go. Oh, he actually will get around. Oh,
it's going to be close.
Gracious me.
It's
I reckon he'll get there
close.
within 1 second.
Yeah.
If he doesn't put the brakes on, ladies and gentlemen, we'll find out. But this guy has dominated all night, regardless of this being the last lap or the penultimate one. He has been the master of puppets here, Metallica style, tonight, and just jingled his fingers up everyone's clacker and said, "Come and catch me, boys, else I'm going to be in control of the show." This will be the penultimate lap, mind you, right now. And the final one is about to cross the line. 12 seconds left. Steve-O doesn't care. He just wants to see that checkered flag. So he's going to go around one more time, Daft Punk style here. And Lindsay Muddle, what more than a fitting man to probably cue off this guy's night?
Yeah, Steve-O already, he had a masterclass in qualifying, and now he kicks off what is going to be a long journey to the line, considering he only had 5 seconds when he crossed it. It's going to be a long 3 minutes 50 odd seconds to go in this race for him, but he's just going to be soaking it in because he's given a lot of other drivers chances to finish off their overtakes, but he's also given him a chance to take in the victory. He got pole in qualifying by a country mile and then just ran away with it ever since. He wasn't really ever under much pressure except for a poor start, so now he's just got to bring it home. But Linus as well, absolutely flying the flag high for Fargo, and it should be a 1-2 for Fargo in their hosted event in this Interclub Championship. And what a way to do it when you're hosting the event, to take it home 1-2 and 4 if it ends out as it is. That is absolutely fantastic stuff from the Fargon drivers.
Yeah, it's like a home ground advantage. So the Fargon team really doing the homework and the practice during the fortnight off since the last one, excuse me. And they've come out with a 1-2. That's domination here in round 2 of the Interclub Racing Championship. But no better man to take out the cup here, Stephen Rees. Here he is. I've been looking at Linus because he's impressed me as well on his debut here in the ICRC, as it's known in the Bizzo. But Stephen Rees just on fire on his last lap. I'll tell you what, I wonder if some of the fuel calculations have been blown out here by this extra lap that Stephen Rees has forced on everyone by going around one more time. There was only 4 seconds, I think, on the clock, so he could have probably pulled it up and called stumps there towards the end. But he goes around one more time. I wonder if there's anyone there just looking at their fuel counter and stressing. I imagine McPherson is, because that gap has come down a very long way to Van Wingard, who just goes straight around, and I don't think there's much McPherson can do about it because he's possibly on the fuel safe here towards the end of the race.
He is. You can see him pulling out.
Look at that. Just
that could be
lift
it.
and coast, yeah.
He fulls lifting and coasting at the moment. That is 100% a fuel-saving moment. Is he going to lose another position there to Anderson behind him? I don't know, but here's another battle going on because Elliott versus Bullock's father is really going hammer and tonk. No fuel saving here by the looks of it. Bullock's just going to sit back in that slipstream again and go for the overtake. Go to the bloody right-hand side, Doc, to defend the position. He does and gets that job done. I think there could be also fuel saving going on there from Bullock as well. So this is all happening now. This could be a little bit of a change for something. Who's got the most fuel as we speak? Who knows? I can tell you one man who would know whether he's got enough fuel will be the guy in P1, Stephen Rees. And this is your guy. Look at him now. He's just weaving already, taking the absolute piss tonight and just celebrating, flashing the lights. He's 2/3 of the way around the circuit. Imagine if he ran out of fuel right now and he thought it read 1 litre, but he's got 0.1 of a litre left. That could be something to behold. But look, we'll give it to him, won't we, Chris? We'll give it to this man, the favourite son of Simsational TV, and the man's favourite #1 fan, Lindsay Muddle. You can call this man as he crosses the line to take victory here in round 2 of the ICRC.
Yeah, so here we go for the end of round 2 here at Circuit de la Sarthe. Steve-O, he got pole for Fargon Racing in Fargon's hosted race in this championship, and now he's just got 2 more chicanes to go between himself and glory. So as he rounds the final chicane, Steve Reese for Fargorn Racing is going to take home P1 in what is a 1-2 finish for Fargorn Racing. He sees his teammate go flying past him, and what a win it was for Stephen Reese, absolutely obliterating the field with just absolute pace and consistency. Take a bow, Stephen Reese. Linus as well, really impressive. Madretsky in third, the only non-Fargorn driver in the top 4. He comes home in third. Longy comes home in P4, and Alex McEwen yet to cross the line. There we go on the super hards. Gets a top 5, and I'll tell you what, Andre Elliott had to pit there on the last lap, which is why he's down in P17, if you didn't notice. But yeah, absolutely fantastic drive from Stephen Reese.
Yeah, great race, great awareness, great strategy, great pace. Never set a foot wrong, and got a bit of luck in the pit exchange as well, coming out well in front of that little gaggle of cars that Dravelmere got caught up with there as he teleports back to pit straight away. Maybe a little bit frustrated there for Madretsky, but a P3 nonetheless. Linus here on his in-lap can, commend him. What a great race from him. Didn't call his name too much. He had a bit of a quiet one, but certainly made the result count in the end.
Well, when his operating system is Linux, no one really cares about him, to be quite truthful. Just joking. That was a beautiful drive from him. He drove the tits off that thing on debut tonight as well. Another GD3 specialist on the call-up to represent Fargorn Racing. That championship's going to look a little bit different now, if not a little bit tighter after this race. So that's going to be incredible to watch. Speaking of where we left off, Alex McEwen inside the top 5 himself. Madretsky, what could have been for him, but he'll still get a podium, and he'll take that P3 for sure. Longy in 4th place, a good showing for Fargorn Racing. McEwen in 5th, as we said. Nick Mallow rounds out 6th place with Matt Double behind him for 7th. Falzon, gallant effort there in 8th. A very, very nice drive from him. 3rd overall for AK Racing. Mark Knowles himself, Beyonce's just put a ring on it and put it in the pits himself. Done for the night, and rounding out your top 10 is James Bullock there. Fantastic stuff from Fargorn Racing. Good representation.
Yeah, it sure was. But Jason McFadden rounding out just on the edge of the top 10 there in the 35. Showed good pace as well. Had to settle for 11th in the end. Peter Van Wingard we saw on the charge there towards the end. Rounds out the top 12. Ryan Anderson as well for Oz New Zealand Racing in 13th. Gardner finishing there in... it looks like he's run out of fuel there as well. Just parked it on the front straight. McPherson as well for GT Club just behind him, with Andre Elliott pitting in the final stanza there. Did not have enough fuel to get around. Brian Bullock, the older of the two, I'm just assuming. I have no idea if he's older than James or not, if they're related or not. I just hope they are. That'd be funny. Eric J in 18th position. Dave Austin put on this event as well, running all the servers and doing all the good things behind the scenes. So a round of applause for him, ladies and gentlemen. And the canned applause making their debut tonight. Matthews has exited the server, not happy with 20th. Neither is Chris O'Neill, 21st. He's out of it. Dean Hanley, we've hardly called all night. He must have been under the pump pretty much from the start. So first time we've called poor old Dino down there in 22nd position. Tommy Marzella, we saw a great overtake and a great battle towards the end for him in the 78. And appreciate the kind words in the chat before the race as well. Daryl Daly in 24th, and we're going to have to go back to the pits to get the rest of the field. They've all left the server. I thought I fixed that up, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if I can do that quickly. It's there. Okay, well, just AC doing AC things. As usual, ladies and gentlemen, 29th was Michael Seal, and that's about all we've got, ladies and gentlemen. No, there we go. Daryl Daly was 24th, Nathan Hughes 25th, Ryan Ford in 26th, Jeff Drew behind him, Gordon Anderson and Craig Stone rounding out the top 30, with Kim Wecker down in 31st position. What's happened there? He did qualify, but it looks like he has not set a race time, so... possibly, I know he's got a young child at home,
Or hardware, maybe.
Possibly a hardware failure. I'm thinking maybe a childware failure. More so.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens to him. We'll only find out by the next race. But cracking event, beautiful stuff to see everyone out there on the racetrack and keeping it very, very clean. No bins, no absolute punts, no nothing tonight. Beautiful stuff there. And Lindsay Muddle's got his fix for the week. He can sleep well tonight because his man has won the race again.
Well, no, he's got to win tomorrow.
Well, okay, you get 6 hours sleep instead of 8.5. At the moment, we'll just keep that under lead at the moment for Lindsay. But a fantastic effort by you, my dear friend, tonight. Thank you for joining us in the commentary box. Thank you to all the viewers out there in YouTube land. It's been cracking to have you along. Thank you to Ron Marshall again for the donation in the chat as well. And I'll tell you what, it has been a beautiful time here in the commentary box with you. One Christopher Munro. I've thoroughly enjoyed every moment of it, and Absolutely. It's been fantastic to have you with us. But for us here at Sensational TV, until Wednesday Cup, it is time for us to say goodnight. Christopher Munro puts the M in magnificent. Lindsay Muddle puts the M in masterclass word alphabetical stuffer-uppery. And MasterCards as well, with the 18% interest coming his way. I've been Zach O'Reilly. Guess what? You're not. But as always, here at Sensational TV, until next time, keep it flat out.
Sensational TV YouTube channel. Don't fucking miss it.